Today I'm talking about vertigo drop attacks, and at the end of this video I'm going to share an embarrassing but hopefully humorous clip of me playing my son's VR last week, which triggered a vertigo drop attack. Whilst I've learned to have a good laugh at myself around this, vertigo can be a debilitating condition to live with, and it is often a symptom of something else. There are varying causes of vertigo, but commonly it stems from problems in the vestibular system. So that is the canals, the little canals in the inner ear responsible for balance. But sometimes it can be associated with something more serious, like a condition in the brain. So it is important to see a medical doctor to determine the origin of your symptoms. My first ever experience with vertigo was after a 10-day cruise ship holiday where we sailed through a cyclone, and it was really rough seas and very turbulent. And on the boat I was fine, I didn't even get sick. But as soon as I stepped off that boat onto firm land, I became really dizzy and unsteady on my feet. And that lasted for about 2 weeks with intermittent periods of vertigo. And I would have to sit down wherever I was in fear of falling over. Now, this is called debarquement syndrome or disembarkment syndrome, and it can happen to anyone, but it is more common for women between the ages of 30 and 60. And it's also known as sea legs, and it usually goes away. For me, it went away for a good year. I didn't have any symptoms. So after experiencing that for about 2 weeks, it just disappeared as quickly as it started. Then one evening when I went to bed, normal, healthy, nothing out of the ordinary, I woke up in the morning, and as I went to stand up to get out of bed, I immediately fell over. I was half asleep, not sure what had happened. So I just lay there on the ground for a few moments thinking maybe it's my blood pressure, maybe it's a bit low. And then I went to get up again, only to find that I couldn't even get to a sitting position without falling over. I couldn't even lift my head without the room spinning out of control like some crazy carnival ride. I thought I had had a stroke at first. It was quite a scary experience because this was much more intense than what I had experienced with the disembarkment syndrome. So I went to hospital. I underwent some CT scans, only to be diagnosed with possible BPPV, or benign paroxysmal positional vertigo. That's a condition where there's little crystals in the ear that get loose and disrupt your sense of balance. From that day on, for about a year, I just learned to live with the vertigo that would appear intermittently from nowhere. I saw a neurologist later in that year who thought that perhaps I had vestibular migraines. I saw another neurologist who wanted to send me for some diagnostic testing for Meniere's disease. But those tests were really expensive, and at the time I could not afford them. So in the end, I just learned how to ground myself, how to use energy medicine to my advantage, and stress inoculation to get it all under control. And I did. For over a year or more, I became symptom-free. And then again, one day, out of the blue, boom, vertigo came back to visit me. And as I said in the start of this video, I only had a drop attack last week, but now they're short, maybe about 20 to 30 seconds long, and amusing in some ways to me. They don't disrupt my life anymore, and I'm learning every day to get more and more control of them. So much so that I am now 100% confident that I'm close to putting vertigo behind me for life, forever. Just before I show you my home video and you have a laugh at my expense, I want to tell you that drop attacks from vertigo, or drop attacks generally, can be very dangerous. A drop attack is where there's really no warning or sometimes even any trigger for the drop. It's a sudden and overwhelming experience that immediately puts you on the floor, on the ground, but without any loss of consciousness. The biggest danger in a drop attack is the fall, getting hurt as you fall down. You will see me call out in my drop attack, quick, help, when it comes on, because I know that I can't stop the fall. And I also had a VR headset on, which disorientated me even further. Oh, and you might want to block your ears when I play this video clip, because at the beginning of it, I was playing my son's horror VR game, and it had jump scares in it, and I was in this dark ghost train. VR tricks your brain into this virtual world where, even though you know it's not real, you react as though it is. And boy, did I react. Anyway, take a quick look at this home video from last week. Have a laugh at my expense. But if you are experiencing vertigo or tinnitus or drop attacks, I would like to help you. I come from a place of professionalism, but also personal experience. I treat a lot of people in my clinic that have these sorts of conditions, and we get some good success. It's more about learning how to manage the symptoms and gain control over them. If you stress out and worry about it, it only makes it worse. So controlling the stress in your life is critical to recovery. I talk about these kind of symptoms and conditions in my online course that I'm currently designing called Life Detox. You can find a link to my Facebook page in the description section below, and I would love you to come join me there, as it's where my online course will be launched from, hopefully in the new year. Till then, take care of yourselves and each other, and enjoy this little insight into the crazy side of me when the camera is off. Till next time, bye-bye.
You just got to control it. Oh, stop! I'm getting vertigo. Someone help! Really bad. Ah!
Sit up. Just sit up.
Oh, quick! Oh, it's killing me more too. I just missed on the floor for a second.
You good?
No, really